We're gonna be making a drag for this, which is the lower half of the mold, and we're gonna be making that out of sand that we got off Amazon, and we're going to be pressing a plastic G into the mold and then letting that dry, and we should be able to use that for our G. Here we're just pouring some of the sand in and making sure that we get it all compressed and tight together with the styrofoam, and we're topping off the sand a little bit more. Then we're going to use our hands and pack it in, make sure everything's nice and secure and we don't have any gaps inside of the sand. And we put our impression in, our drag, and make sure it seals in, pack in some more sand there, and we remove it in order to get the finished product.
Hey y'all, so our plan today was to melt aluminum and sand cast the Super G logo, which is the Georgia G logo. As you'll see coming up in the pictures and videos, we were not able to get the aluminum to melt, ended up having to use wax instead. In order to try to get the aluminum to melt, we started by placing a crucible with aluminum in it on top of a burner. This did not work. So then we got a clay pot, we filled it up with charcoal, put the crucible in the pot, lit all the charcoal, and placed the pot on the burner.
Here's our setup. We have a clay pot and we have some charcoal, and in the inside we have our crucible on top of the burner, and we're just going to put the lid on it and have a burner right tucked inside so we have maximum heat.
And we were still unable to get the aluminum to melt after several hours. Due to that, we are now going to try again with wax. We're going to follow the same process, melt the wax, pour it in the mold, and hopefully have a good looking Super G logo.
This is an up close view of the drag that we used to take the shape of the Super G. This is the setup we used to melt the wax. It's basically just the crucible on top of a propane burner. And there you can see the wax inside the crucible, and once we lit it, it would melt the wax.
Alright, so as you can see, we just used the drag of the mold instead of the cope and the drag. In our original plan, we were going to use aluminum, and we were going to make a thin Super G logo. So we were going to just pour it into the drag. Once we made that part of the mold, we were then going to use a machining process to sand down the edges. We'll try to do the same thing with the wax.
You need 10. Play clock at 4. From the pocket. Launching downfield.
How about them fucking dogs?
Intercepted. Keely Ringo has an escort down the sidelines. All the way to the end zone. And Georgia is going to conquer the Crimson Tide.
Alright, so after we let the wax cool, we now have a finished Super G logo. Couple areas of improvement. Obviously, if we would have found a way to melt aluminum, that would have been ideal. Ways that we could have done this was have a hotter furnace or just create a better way to hold the heat rather than it escaping. Another problem was the first day we tried, it was 30 degrees outside, so that probably did not help. Coming down to the wax, we realized that wax is a lot less viscous than aluminum, so we had some trouble with the wax seeping into the casting sand. In the end though, we were able to get a solid G shape, and we were able to get what we wanted out of it.